So Joe Rogan once again was fooled and actually fell for a hoax that he saw online, except this time it was a little bit different because a lot of his fans actually attacked someone on the internet. Rogan essentially read out on the podcast a clearly fake Twitter post that made it seem as if an actual doctor was saying something incredibly wild. Joe Rogan commented on it for about 10 minutes, bashing the doctor regarding the situation, which again caused a lot of his fans to rage and attack that person online. That forced Joe Rogan to take down the entire episode, edit the part out before re-uploading it, and then they addressed it online. A lot of his fans are calling him out, and his subreddit was very divided when it came to this issue, even sharing this hilarious video.
My personality that is just immune to bullshit. When bullshit hits me, I go, oh, I know what this is. I grew up without a dad, okay? I don't trust people. I think there's a lot of bullshit.
Gotta get somebody to click on this.
So, what's going on? Well, we've actually talked about this previously, but Joe Rogan has a crazy track record of being fooled into believing some wild stuff in the past, whether it is aliens, things that he sees online, and even Bigfoot.
It's adopting an idea too soon. That's 100% of the idea. Because once you adopt that idea and then you hang on to it, now you're fucked. Like Bigfoot, man. Bigfoot was a big one for me. I was convinced that
Really?
Bigfoot was real.
What's wrong with you? How long
Stupid.
ago was this?
Couple weeks
Not
ago.
when I not when I'd known you.
Yeah, man, when I did this TV show.
So it's clearly not a new thing, but before, people would just think it was funny and make fun of Joe Rogan, like that one time where he was screaming at that PhD scientist about a new species that he believed was found somewhere in the Congo, I believe, when he was clearly wrong.
Complicated form of bacteria.
All right,
No-
hold
no
on.
different than any other animal.
Allison from Florida is going to challenge you. Allison, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm a primatologist. There's no such thing as a Bondo ape.
You're a fucking idiot. Go online and look it up.
You're a what? What do you do?
It's a new discovery. You're a primatologist. Well, look it up. You're not current. Pay attention. Go online and look it up.
Yeah, this is student.
Yeah, you've learned some shit from the college. When did you graduate?
I have a PhD from
When
2000.
did you graduate? When?
From 2000.
Yeah, when was the last time you got online and researched primates? Have you ever looked at any of the new discoveries? Have you looked at any of Carl Amon's work?
Yeah, I've been to Africa.
What are you laughing at? Why are you laughing? Why are you laughing? I'll tell you why you're laughing, because you don't have a point. So you're trying to, oh, you're ridiculous. I have a PhD. Meanwhile, there's all sorts of photographs of this primate, this gigantic chimpanzee. Not only that, it's on National Geographic, stupid. NationalGeographic.com. CNN.com, stupid. No. There's bones, there's tissue samples, there's hair, there's fecal matter, there's all sorts of different things. Now, they've mapped the DNA of this animal already?
Oh, please.
What do you mean, oh,
With all
please,
that
stupid?
crap.
You haven't paid attention to it at all. These are legitimate scientists and primatologists that are in the Congo studying this thing. And you don't know. Yet you're calling up. You've done zero research on this. You haven't looked into it at all. You're telling me we know all the animals that are in the world? Are you telling me we know all the animals in this gigantic, several thousand-mile-long, intense rainforest? We've mapped that out.
There's another fake chimpanzee out
No,
there.
it's not a fake, stupid. It's not a fake.
Cool as
Listen, they
hell.
have skulls.
That was later debunked, and it was shown that it wasn't really a new species, but instead it was just part of an already established species of chimps. Nowadays, he doesn't scream at scientists, but he will only have people on that would confirm what he believes. Obviously, the podcast is bigger than ever. Money is not an issue, but I don't know, the podcast just doesn't seem the same, because fighting about chimps on a podcast can be funny and maybe cringe, but recently, in my opinion, he's just been way too involved into politics, and then recently the pandemic, and then doing things like believing that story about the litter boxes in the schools. That's just a little bit too wild.
This enterprise, the Joe Rogan Show, makes millions upon millions upon millions upon millions upon millions of dollars. $100 million he got paid. The idea that they don't dedicate, I don't know, $120,000 a year to someone who can do like, hey, you know what? If you're going to base a segment on this, you know, if it's like somebody who's got an opinion about MMA fighting, okay. But if you're going to go out and claim that a doctor has tweeted this because you've seen the tweet, it wasn't even, you know, it was like and I guess Frizzle McDizzle repeated it or something, or whatever it is. If you're going to use that as the basis of making these broad claims about the health policy of an entire nation, don't you have some obligation to fact check it beforehand?
Jamie really got to be helping him out more, dude. Pulled that shit up. University has been slacking lately, okay? Maybe he's like worried that he can't get enough play or something. I don't know what it is, but like he really needs to be like, bro, this is not real.
Now, here's the thing. I disagree with both of them, and clearly the Jamie thing is just dumb. He is there as a producer to make sure that the show is running well, and he just happens to be great at pulling things up during the show on the internet. But to say that he needs a fact checker or a research team, I think that's a little bit too far. Because yes, he does have a massive audience, but anybody that has seen a couple of episodes can tell that Joe Rogan is not someone that you take very seriously when it comes to the important stuff, because at the end of the day, like he says, he is just a comedian talking. But here's a snippet of the part that was edited out, and you can actually see the entire video on the Joe Rogan subreddit, but here's a little clip from it.
So this woman tweeted, "I will never regret the vaccine, but I will never regret or apologize for it." It's a fascinating perspective. And it's also a fascinating perspective that this person claims to be about love, but has the most uncharitable view of people who didn't get vaccinated. That everyone got anti-vax out of hate. The idea that I didn't get vaccinated out of hate, I find so ridiculous.
Back through, and she's like, well, I did everything right.
Right, she did it out of love.
I was entirely
and
motivated
I believe her.
By being a good person. I believe her too. And then she sticks the knife in. And she says, in order for that to be true, if everything I did was motivated by the goodness, then everybody who didn't do it must have been motivated by badness, which is illogical and very ungenerous.
Yeah, very ungenerous, uncharitable, and it's, it's this thing that people do. Other people. I mean, we love to do it when there's a complex problem. One of the best ways to not look at people as being human is to categorize them as an enemy.
And listen, I still like the podcast, but I used to never miss an episode. Nowadays, I only tune in whenever I see another comedian on or somebody interesting like Ed Calderon. But I do listen knowing that it's pure entertainment, and that if I hear something that is interesting, I just look it up myself. And just to be fair to Joe Rogan, if you think about the insane amount of episodes that he has put out compared to the times that he has been under fire, it's not really that much. But when it happens, it's huge. But just like any other form of entertainment, there is going to be bias and a narrative that is going to be pushed. But overall, Joe Rogan does need to step up his game and start questioning everything, including his own current beliefs, in my opinion. And you might be thinking, who cares? You might be right, because even though Spotify doesn't show numbers, his YouTube channel alone, which only posts clips, does over 75 million views a month, and subscribers have only increased in the past couple of years. I remember it being like 8 million subscribers not so long ago. So it's killing it. But in my opinion, if he keeps making these type of mistakes, I think it will hurt him in the long run. But let me know what you think in the comments below. Leave a like, subscribe to the channel. But that is all we have for today. See ya.